I have decided that it is time for me to start exploring different brands of graphite pencils. Because, like I said in one of my latest videos, these Mars Lumograph graphite pencils from the German brand Staedtler are the only graphite pencils that I have ever used for my drawings since I can remember. And not long ago, I was watching some videos of Jono Dry, and he mentioned that he only uses Faber-Castell graphite pencils for his amazing professional work. So that's when I thought, okay, graphite is just graphite, right? How different can other brands be? But maybe there is a difference. That's what I want to find out in this video. So I got myself a few different brands of professional grade graphite pencils, and I also got these that are marketed more towards like kindergarten or small children to see if there is really a difference. But I have to say that the price is very similar to the professional ones. These are the prices for each set here in Germany. I couldn't find the price of the 20 set Staedtler pencils, so I just wrote the price for the 12 set, since I also have the 12 set of the Faber-Castell and the 12 set of the Derwent. For the Tombow, this is the only set that I could find, and I find it really expensive to pay 16.95 euros for a set of only 6 pencils. It does include a monozero eraser, which by itself costs almost 5 euros. So I think each Tombow pencil costs around 2 euros each, which is still more expensive than the other brands. The ones at the bottom are very small sets, so naturally the price per piece will be higher. But I was looking and I couldn't really find any cheap complete set for children, so there's that. My first impression of the pencils was that they look and feel really high quality, but nothing really extraordinary. I didn't like so much the fact that the Tombow pencils, which are the most expensive ones, don't even come in a nice metal case like the other ones. The Tombow pencils, as well as the Faber-Castell, are advertised as extra break resistance, and I guess it's true because they didn't break when I was sharpening them. But the ones I've always used also extremely rarely break, so there's no difference in that, I guess. The paper I'm using to test the pencils is very high quality. This is a mixed media journal by Strathmore 500 series. Probably not the absolute best for graphite realism, but I think it's good enough. So the idea with this swatch is to test how easy it is to draw a smooth gradient with each of these pencils' degrees of hardness, and to see each of the brands side by side. I usually never use 2H degree of hardness for my drawings, but still I swatch them because I know most people do use them for their lighter values. This Derwent set doesn't include a 2H. The hardest degree it has is H, so I just didn't swatch that one. With the Tombow 2H, I immediately noticed that it was a lot softer than what I normally consider a 2H pencil to be. And to my surprise, it was exactly the same case with the cheap Real brand for kids. Then with the HB pencils, exactly the same happened. The Tombow and the Stabilo pencil for kids were both so much darker than the other ones. The 2B pencil is probably the one I use the most for my graphite drawings, and out of these 5, only the Tombow was a lot darker than the other ones. From 4B and on, I think it's a bit hard to tell the difference in blackness or softness degree, But usually I never use anything softer because the softer a pencil is, the harder it is to erase it. The second thing I tested on this swatch was how well each pencil blends when using a blending stump. This is probably the most important for me because this is the tool I use for everything basically, and for all of my lightest values. All of the pencils blended very nicely with the blending stump, and even the Tombow, which are advertised as being smear proof, which I find kind of pointless because that's one of the cool things about graphite. But who knows, maybe for technical drawings it would be nice to have smear proof pencils, but these are definitely not. The very last thing I tested on this swatch was how well each graphite pencil can be erased. Very important. Okay guys, after making this quick swatch, to be completely honest, to me all of these brands feel pretty much the same. The only difference that I can see and feel between them is that each brand makes its own pencil grades or degrees of hardness differently. Although I must say that to me, the Staedtler, the Faber-Castell and the Derwent feel almost exactly the same. With the Staedtler, I feel like I can get a little bit smoother blends, but just a bit more than with these two. But it's really minimal. I don't even know if you can see it on camera. And the Tombow pencils are the only ones that are different, but only in terms of degrees of hardness. In other words, they are just named differently. So for example, a Tombow 2H pencil and a Faber-Castell HB pencil are exactly the same, in my opinion. You can see it here. The Tombow 2H looks exactly the same as the Faber-Castell HB and the Staedtler and the Derwent, because to me these three look pretty much the same. So for me it doesn't make sense to buy, for example, these Derwent set of 12 pencils for 20 euros when I can buy the Staedtler, for example, set of 12 for half the price. That was my very first impression only by doing this swatch, but for me, this is not enough to really know the difference between each of these brands and decide which is the one I would keep buying. So for the next video, I'm gonna make a drawing using all four brands separately. I'm gonna divide the page in 4, and only then, after using each of them side by side for the same reference and for a long period of time, maybe only then I can really discover if there is any difference for me.